tell you the tale of the Maverick Queen, most dangerous woman the West ever seen. There was something about her since she was 16 that attracted the men to the Maverick Queen. The Maverick Queen, the Maverick Queen. She could steer your heart away. There was something about her since she was 16 that attracted the men to the Maverick Queen.
The little town of Stillwater toward the end of the last century. At that time, it was thought that the outlaw flame which had seared the middle border since the end of the Civil War was almost extinguished. However, there were some who knew that the fire was not yet out.
Well, glad to see you, Leo. How are you?
Good. What you doing?
Relaxing after getting the weekly edition off the press.
I see you're relaxing too, Jet.
Howdy, Mr. Belong.
Here's a copy of the rag. Well, it's time for a snort.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. Came in to see you about a story for your next edition.
Good enough. Any news from your office always makes good reading.
You know the youngest, of course.
Yeah, sure. Cole and Jim, they're cousins of the Daltons. And their nephew, Jeff.
Yeah, the same. It's Jeff I'm talking about. He's out of Stillwater today. His uncle's got 25 years. He's out in 3.
And what'll he be doing now?
Oh, heading west, no doubt. There's no place else for the likes of him.
California?
Too tame, I'm thinking. He's a wild one. Maybe to Wyoming.
Oh, to join the Wild Bunch?
Wouldn't you if you had his blood running in your veins?
Oh, maybe I would. You know, there's always something missing in fellas like that.
Yeah, missing all that's good. You know, the Wild Bunch is run by a big Irishman named Butch Cassidy. They have a string of outlaw ranches that stretch from Canada down to the Mexican border.
The Irish, they're a wild lot.
Only the black Irish, Pete. It's the Spanish blood in them that does it.
Yeah, the Spanish blood, no doubt.
Better get some sleep, Miss Lucy. We'll be in Rock Springs by tomorrow night. Nothing's gonna happen this close to town.
I can't sleep. I suppose I shouldn't worry, but if we lose this herd...
Don't worry. You'll sell them in Rock Springs, pay your debts, and you'll have money to spare.
I guess I better get some sleep. Keep the fire going and see if the Nighthawk stays awake.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm sorry to start you. I saw your fire looking for a place to light.
We don't like strangers here. This is lawless country. What's your name?
Jeff Young. I'm no rustler, unless it's for food. Been a long day in the saddle. Sure appreciate a handout. Hold my gun if you want to.
All right, you can stay. I'm Lucy Lee. This is Jamie. He's our cook.
Happy to know you.
There's stew on the pot. Put your horse with the other horses. There's water there. Help yourself to the grain.
Much obliged.
I didn't want to be inhospitable, but you have to be awfully careful around here. The Wild Bunch has made hash of this country.
That's all right. I've heard about the Wild Bunch. Headquarter around here, eh?
Hole in the wall. In the Powder River country. Nobody knows rightly where it is.
Cattle rustlers?
And bank robbers, train stick-ups, ranches, stagecoaches, nothing's safe. Better sleep fast. We move at dawn.
Thanks, I'll be ready. Night.
Over to the wagons. Bunchy, see who's in those 2 wagons.
Well.
The Wild Bunch. What do you want?
Lady, we're in the same business you are. Selling cattle. Your cattle.
You must be Butch Cassidy.
Oh, no. Sort of his right-hand man, you might say. Call me Sundance.
Sundance. How colorful.
You know, you're kind of colorful yourself. Come here.
All of you, reach! Keep your hands clear. Drop your guns. Pick them up. Put them in the wagon. All right, now ride.
You remember this outfit?
I said ride.
Saddle up. Dawn will be breaking in half an hour.
There's no need to rush, Miss Lucy. That gang can't get no more guns short of the hole.
Or Rock Springs, maybe, and have them meet us again tomorrow night. Well, come on, move.
Well, the outfit was to be a cinch, huh? Nobody but plain cowhands.
How did I know she was smart enough to hire herself a professional gun shop?
Well, you should have. It was like she was waiting for us.
Shut up. We'll meet again.
Where are we heading?
Rock Springs. I want to talk to Kit.
I guess I don't have to tell you how grateful I am.
I was glad I could come to your party. You're kind of young to be running an outfit this big, Miss Lee.
I was raised on a cattle ranch. I understand cattle as well as any man.
Cattle, but not cattle rustlers, eh?
Perhaps not. But you seem to, Mr. Young. After all you've done for me, would it be rude if I asked you what business you're in? I wouldn't take you for an ordinary cowhand.
Yeah, right now it's looking after a pretty young cattlewoman.
Said I was grateful. 2 guns and the way you handled them. Different from just a cowhand. Are you a professional gunman?
Maybe I could qualify, maybe not.
Why did you wear a mask?
I Sundance is a killer. No sense giving him an edge, letting him recognize me if we should meet again.
Then you are a gunner.
Let's just say I'm a traveling man.
Would you ride with us to Rock Springs?
Traveling man has to travel. Why not with pleasant company?
Thank you, Mr. Young.
What's your pleasure?
2 bottles of your best.
What happened to your guns? Well, what happened?
If you want Lucy Lee's cattle, you're gonna have to buy them.
Shut up. Talk to me upstairs.
Maybe I'd better.
Buy the boys another drink, Jake. Looks like they could use it.
Town's pretty busy. Little outfits bringing in their cattle for 100 miles around. Shipping them on, as many as 3 trainloads a day going out.
Oh, for heaven's sake, take a bath first. You smell like a combination brewery and horse stable.
You need a half a dozen 6 guns. Know where we can get them?
Yes, you can buy them at my general store if you have the cash. Who got yours? Oh, looks like somebody's bullet beat yours. Never thought I'd see that happen to the great Sundance. Don't tell me Lucy Lee's Wranglers were faster than you.
We had them cold. All of a sudden, this strange gun ranny shows up.
And where were your eyes? Were you blind? Or maybe you were paying too much attention to Lucy Lee. Don Juan himself. Never could keep your hands off the ladies, could you, Sundance?
There's only one woman I want my hands on. Kit Banion.
Oh, come now.
You know what I mean, Kit. I'm crazy about you. You're the only woman I ever met that I couldn't do without. Well, you think it's so funny, huh? Just because you own most of this town, you think you know everything. Then tell me this. How'd that Lee girl happen to have a gunslinger with her outfit? Yeah, you tipped us to her drive. But now I'm thinking maybe you tipped her we were going to raid her outfit.
You saddle drunk or something. I stood to make as much out of those cattle when they were delivered to me as you and your boss, Butch Cassidy. So why should I warn her?
Thinking maybe to get me killed. Yes, maybe you're getting your tips from some new boy you got your eye on, like that gunslinger.
Oh, you and your stupid jealousy. I'm sick of it. Who is this gun ranny you're talking about? You know most of them. What does he look like?
Well, he was masked. It was dark. He was taller, big fella. That's all I could see.
Well, don't blame me if he made a monkey out of you.
Well, they had to know from someplace we were coming because he was waiting for us. You had a good thing with the Wild Bunch, Kit. No, I'm telling you. Watch your step.
You're telling me? When it deals with business, I take orders from one man, Butch Cassidy, and none at all from anybody when it comes to my private life. Neither you nor Butcher nor any of the bunch would dare show themselves in the streets if I weren't what I am in Rock Springs.
Yeah, and I know what you are. And I know how you got the Maverick Queen and the cattle company and all the little business that you finagle people out of in this town by taking up with every cowboy with a stray you could slap your brand
Shut
on.
up!
You've got the money and the power now, Kit. But you'll never enjoy it if you take up with anybody besides me.
You don't have to tell me what I've done. I did what I had to do to get where I am. And when I get to the top, I'll leave you and your breed far behind. A few of the things I liked about you, Sundance. Very few. You were the best I had a chance to meet in this territory. But somewhere along the way, sometime, I'll meet a better man, like the kind of man I used to know. And when I do, I'll drop you like a poisonous snake.
You do that, Kit Banion, and I promise you, I'll kill you.
I don't think you will, Sundance. I said he'd be a better man.
Half block up and across the street, Levi's. Next door, Pennypacker's barber shop.
Thanks.
Sure.
I think I'll talk to this gentleman first. Thank you. Don't bother to get up. I wonder if I could talk to you for a minute, if you don't mind.
Certainly, sit down.
Would you care to order, miss?
No, not now, thank you. I'm having supper with Sheriff Wilson. He's an old friend of my dad's. I want to tell him what happened. You look different. Do you think you might run into Sundance around here in town?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Are you planning on settling here?
It depends on the opportunities.
Maybe I can make you an offer.
Punching cows?
No, that isn't the idea I had in mind.
One thing for sure, you'd be the prettiest boss I ever worked for.
2 years ago, my dad ran the biggest spread in this part of the territory. The Wild Bunch started rustling, and they got a lot of our stock. One night, Dad waited up for them with some of the boys.
And he was killed.
Before he died, I told him I'd keep the ranch, and someday I'd get the Wild Bunch and pay him back for what they did. Last night, I thought for sure we were finished, and we would have been if you hadn't come along. Well, that's the job I'm offering you. Help run them off.
What'll you do with the herd?
Sell them.
Plenty of buyers in town?
Only one, Kit Banion.
Oh, yes, I've heard about her. She seems to be a big wheel in this town. That's unusual for a lady.
She's quite a businesswoman.
You don't like her? She sounds interesting.
Well, I suppose she is. But I don't want to talk about her.
Where will you put your money?
In the Railway Express office safe. Every month while they transfer the money into one of their bigger banks up in Denver.
Miss Lee, you were lucky this trip. Chances will be against you next time. My advice would be for you to get out of the cattle business until this lawlessness subsides.
Then you won't help.
Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't fit in with my plans. Besides, I'm not about to go gunning for Butch Cassidy. Not by myself, anyway.
There's lots of men in this territory who could help. You could organize a vigilante committee. You're new to this country. You don't know what it could mean to these men.
Maybe you're right, but I can't promise anything right now.
Hello, Lucy.
Sheriff Wilson, this is Jeff Young.
Sheriff? Well, I've got to be going. You'll be in town for a few days, Miss Lee?
Yes.
Nice to know you, Sheriff.
Monkey with my Lulu gal, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll carve your heart with my razor. I'll shoot you with my pistol, too. My Lulu gal's a daisy. She wears a big white hat. I'll bet your life when I'm in town, the dudes all hit the flat.
Now, I'll just call that, mister. I'll raise you the same. Now, it seems to me that ace came off the bottom.
Who cheated?
Now, this fella claimed the dealer, him, dealt himself an ace off the bottom of the deck. Then he tried to shoot him in the belly underneath the table, and this fella upset the table on him.
You've been losing. Doesn't like to lose, I guess. That ace came off the top of the deck.
You're a stranger around here, aren't you, mister?
Yeah, I just rode in this evening.
Good. Well, if you know what you had, sort out the chips. All right, boys, it's all over. Drink up. You won the argument, so you must be right. It's always nice to meet the better man.
All right, let's clear out. It's cooler riding at night anyway.
My special bottle, Jake. Sundance isn't the kind you turn your back on. Those breeds are treacherous.
Yeah, I know the type.
Grandmother was a Sioux. Funny I haven't seen you around here before. Most everybody in the territory comes to the Maverick Queen.
Well, because I haven't been in the territory very long, I guess. Come from Minnesota.
No wonder. Anyway, I'm glad to meet you. My name's Kit Banion. I own this place. You don't have to tell me yours if you don't want to.
No objection. It's Jeff Younger.
That's a great name to be slung around carelessly. You wouldn't by chance be related to Cole and Jim Younger?
My uncles.
They had you in the big house, didn't they, at Stillwater? Break out?
Released. Served my time, 3 years.
What are you doing out here?
The only place left that isn't crawling with civilization. Sheriffs all over the place. Man wants to live by his wits, he has to get out.
Well, you came to the right country. Oh, we have a sheriff. Wilson is his name. He's tough, but he doesn't get much help. Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch have things pretty easy.
They say you're one of them.
Who says so?
Cole told me before I left Stillwater.
If you're thinking about joining the Wild Bunch, you've made a bad beginning. Sundance is Butch's right-hand man.
No, there's no hurry. I'm just looking around.
How about a job dealing pharaoh? One of my boys left last week.
Sounds good. When do I start?
Tomorrow.
Why, Jamie.
Hello, Miss Lucy.
Kit Banion, please.
Excuse me. How do you do, Miss Lee? What can I do for you?
I have some steers to sell. Brought a trail herd over late this afternoon.
Oh. How much do you want for them?
Market price.
That's pretty high. You know I'm the only buyer in Rock Springs.
Yes, I know. But the price isn't high, considering the difficulties.
Difficulties?
Yes, difficulties. Cattle rustlers, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yes, I know what you mean. All right, I'll buy them.
I'm camped down by the creek. When will you be over?
Tomorrow morning around 8.
Thanks.
Four's the winner. All right, gentlemen, place your bets.
How do you like my new dealer, boys? He's done good all week, hasn't he?
Too good, if you ask me.
Tony, take over. I want to talk to you upstairs. Sundance, meet Jeff Younger. You rushed off the other night before I had a chance to introduce you. You boys ought to try and get along. You're both in the same business.
Never mind the handshake and let's talk turkey. It's late.
All right, Sundance, go ahead and talk. You've always got such a lot to say.
All right. You told Kit that you're Jeff Younger, and she thinks that's important. Well, maybe you are Jeff Younger, and maybe you ain't, but I can tell you this. Nobody's important to Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch, so if you want to stay alive, mister, you'll clear out of this territory.
Now, wait a minute. That's not what I brought him up here to talk about. You're sore because he outgunned and outplayed you. That was twice in 2 days you lost your gun. You better carry it in a sack.
You shut your mouth! Look, you didn't ride into Rock Springs with that Lee outfit, did you?
Who's the Lee outfit?
You mean you think he stopped you both times? Oh, that's a laugh. It wasn't you, was it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, we're wasting time. Do you want in on this caper or not? All right. The railroad is expressing $50,000 in gold to Denver. The train leaves at 8 in the morning with 12 armed guards riding in the coach behind the express car. You go along as one of the passengers.
Supposing he ain't who he says he
You
is.
have to take chances in this business. What difference does it make? It's his word against ours. If he doesn't work out, we lose $50,000. If we don't send him, we lose it anyway. So since none of the gang can go along, they'd be recognized right away.
Well, you can count me out. I'm no fool.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, Sundance, but you'll be there. You won't want to miss out on $50,000. He's sore because of what happened at the Lee Trail camp. Sundance and the boys rode in to take over. The Lee Trail herd, but Lucy Lee had a professional gun hawk staked out, and Sundance almost got himself killed. He blames me for it.
I don't follow that.
Oh, he thinks I had a yen for this gunman, whoever he is, and framed the whole thing to get Sundance out of the way for good. Here's to kindness. After it was over, he came back to town and tried to get a little rough with me, but I ran him out. I'm finished with him. He's no good. He never was.
A woman like you, with your looks, what you've made of yourself. Seems somebody should have married you and carted you away a long time ago.
Marriage? No. No, that's not for people in our business. I'm part of a gang run by Butch Cassidy. You don't know Butch yet. The only way you leave the Wild Bunch is feet first. You better think that over.
Why did you tie in with the Wild Bunch?
To make more money, of course. Why else? You know, somehow I had pictured Jeff Younger differently. You don't look like a thief.
Neither do you. That's in our favor.
No, what I mean is, I don't see you as a cold-blooded killer. Some of the stories I've heard about the James gang aren't very pretty.
James gang learned their business during the war. War is never very pretty. War makes people forget the learning of 10,000 years. You get to be like an animal or you don't survive.
And afterwards, you go on living. Like we do.
Some people can't forget what it made them do or what it did to them. But that isn't your reason. Or is it? You're not just a dance hall girl. You came from better than that.
Yes. Yes, I had a proud family once. I was raised on a plantation in Virginia. The war ruined us, killed everyone but me. Then I came to Wyoming. Pretty soon they were calling me the Maverick Queen because I took every unbranded steer they brought me and put my own brand on it. Made lots of money.
Now you have everything you want, eh?
Oh? People tell me I'm a smart operator. They do business with me. But that's as far as it goes. The good people of Rock Springs pass me by. The women don't speak to me. But when you make it our way, you have to expect to walk alone, isn't that right?
Yes, kid, I guess that's right.
Well, what shall we drink to now?
Say $50,000 that'll be riding on that train tomorrow? I'd like to know more about the plan. Where does Sundance fit in?
Oh, there's plenty of time to talk about that. I'd rather talk about us. Oh, by the way, be careful of Sundance. He's jealous of you.
It's all right, Miss Lee. From the sort of recommendation you give him, I'm glad to have Mr. Young along as a passenger. If the need arises, no doubt he can give us some help.
I sure will, Mr. McMillan. I'm sorry to bother you, Miss Lee, but it was the only way I could get aboard.
What? I hope you haven't forgotten my offer.
No, I haven't forgotten. Lucy, Miss Lee, maybe I'll be coming back this way one day soon. I'd like to look you up. Would you care to have me?
I'd be glad to see you anytime. What are you doing here? Better get back to camp. We're leaving this morning, you know. Played around here long enough.
Be right along, Miss Lucy. A couple of things in town I need.
He got aboard all right.
Good.
You know that Lucy Lee?
I know. What about her?
She was there, too.
Wait a minute.
Can't stay but a minute. Lucy will miss me in camp.
What do you want?
Well, you probably know already. I want to make sure before leaving town, especially now that...
Know what?
That tall, good-looking fellow you put on dealing faro.
Oh, you mean Jeff Younger?
Younger? Told us it was Jeff Young.
Told us? Told who?
Lucy Lee and me in camp that night. It was him that stopped Sundance and the boys when they came calling, you know.
No, I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I thought you knew all about it. Him and Sundance having that fight over cards and all. I only came now seeing he's getting on the gold train. I wanted to make sure.
What's the gold train got to do with it?
Well, you're going to pull a caper, ain't you?
All right, go on, get out. Make sure no one sees you. Find Sundance. Send him to me right away.
He and the boys took off an hour ago.
I've got to stop them.
It's too late.
I guess you're right. Get me a pack, a saddle horse, and a rifle. I'm going out of town for a couple of days.
Let's go.
Keep going. those horsemen.
All right, set it.
How did you make out?
Got it. Kit Banion tells me you're Jeff Younger, Cole's nephew.
That's right. You're Cassidy, I take it.
How did he do at the stick-up?
He did all right. Does all right at cards, too. When he's dealing.
All right. Take care of the stock.
I'll tend yours.
I'll tend to my own. Be careful, Sundance's watching us. I could have you shot. Was you stop the boys at the Lee camp. I came up here to tell Cassidy, and I decided to wait and see what happened at the train holdup. What's your game?
No games. The breach started to rough up the Lee girl. I didn't like it.
Why didn't you tell me?
If I had, would you have taken a chance on me?
No. No, I guess not.
How'd you find out?
Watch it.
Let's go outside.
I'm busy.
Still sore, huh?
Yes, and I'm staying that way as far as you're concerned. Deal yourself out.
Sundance won't like you. You may be younger, but you won't be much older if you don't watch out.
That train robbery makes you one of us. Maybe you think this is a funny thing for me to say, but I'm sorry I got you in on it. You were clean. Now you're a wanted man again. Jeff, why don't you make a run for it?
Run? Nobody quits the Wild Bunch, remember?
I'll help you. You're young enough to start over again. Go to California. This country is changing. Settlers coming in. In a couple of years, the gang will be all gone. Wiped out.
What about you?
It's too late for me. But you're different. You're like the kind of men I used to know. I've been remembering what it was like. Happiness, peace of mind, contentment. Something on your mind, Butch?
Yeah. I want you to head back to Rock Springs as soon as it gets light. I'll take care of your cut of the train holdup money, all right?
All right. Do you think there'll be trouble about the train holdup?
Could be about that. Or something else. If there's anything unusual in town, let me know. Better get some sleep now.
Oh, Butch, two things. Jeff goes with me as far as town. Sundance stays here.
They both stay. If you're afraid to go alone, I'll send Muncie.
What's the matter with Jeff? He did all right with the train holdup, didn't he?
A man might do just that to find out the way into the hole. A lawman, I mean.
All right, I'll go alone.
Suit yourself. Muncie. Kid's leaving at dawn. Put a guard on Sundance, see he doesn't follow her. Use loudmouth.
Good night, Jeff.
Night. Kid's pulling out at dawn. Watch Sundance, see that he don't follow her. Guess you don't want to lose her scalp.
Please, Jeff, watch your chance. Get away. But be careful of Cassidy. He's suspicious. If you need money, I'll give it to you. Please, Jeff. Please, do it for me. I'll be watching for you in town.
All right, kid.
She fell for a stranger who came riding through. His love was the best love that she ever knew. But her old love was jealous. Her old love was mean. There was trouble ahead for the Maverick Queen. The Maverick Queen. The Maverick Queen. She could steal your heart away. But her old love was jealous. Her old love was mean. There was trouble ahead for the Maverick Queen. But the air smelled of trouble. The tension was keen. And you feared for the life of the Maverick Queen.
ain't gonna get away with it, kid.
What do you want?
I seen you hanging around him, making love to him, kissing him.
Maybe I do like him, but that's none of your business. I was finished with you before I met Jeff.
You're lying. I told you what would happen if you took up with another man. Now I'm gonna kill him. But first, I'm gonna kill you.
You look beat up, kid. Have trouble with Sundance? You got away from us.
He tried to shoot me and missed, then bulldogged me off my horse. He fell further than I did, so I threw a log down on him. He went over the cliff.
That's what I like about you, kid. You always take care of yourself. Serves him right. Feel well enough to go on?
I can make it.
I'll send Loudmouth and Muncie with you. Pick up her horse, and pick up Sundance's, too.
Butch, I guess Sundance's horse must have been scared off.
Well, let him go. I don't want no dead man stuff around anyhow. Let's hear from your kid.
See you, Jeff.
Sheriff Wilson tells me that the train carrying the shipment of gold to the Denver bank was held up by the Wild Bunch. They got the cattle money, of course, but the express company will make good the losses, so I'm protected. This time, we were lucky to even get the herd to market. Next time, we probably won't be so lucky, as long as Butch Cassidy and his crowd are running free rein. I don't have to tell you that the loss of one trail herd could wreck this ranch. Sheriff Wilson intends to do something about it. He's deputizing as many able-bodied men as are willing to go.
I'm forming a big posse. We'll stay in the field as long as it takes us to round this gang up or run them out of the country. Now, how about it? You with me?
We'll go along. Might as well. We started out of the cattle business.
Count me out. I'm a cook. I ain't no gun hand.
You ain't even a cook, if you ask me.
Nobody's asking you, Logan. At least I got sense enough not to get shot up for nothing. In the first place, how are you going to locate the hole in the wall?
That's my business.
I'll get the gear and saddle up, Miss Lucy.
Thank you, Chet. Thanks, boys.
Don't pay any attention to what that cook says. People like him makes it easy for the bunch.
It doesn't make sense that Jeff Young would fight off the wild bunch and then turn around and join up with them.
You know, it looks like now that run-in with Sundance was staged for your benefit, so that Jeff could get in with you and get on the train. After all, we'd rather have the cash than the cattle.
Are you sure he helped rob that train?
Well, there isn't any doubt about it.
I don't believe he's an outlaw. No. There must be some other explanation.
Lucy, why don't you come in town with us? My wife would be glad to have you, and after all, it would be a little safer.
No, I'm set here. I do appreciate it, though. I'll be all right. I'm not alone.
You might just as well be. That Jamie's worse than useless. I can't understand why your dad ever hired him.
Dad was always picking up strays.
Hello, Jamie.
What? What do you want?
Something to eat. And hurry it up. I'm hungry.
Suppose Miss Lucy comes in.
It'll be the worse for her if she does. Come on, move!
Yeah.
Listen, you. You keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you.
What have you got the door locked for? Afraid the sheriff might get you?
I guess so, Miss Lucy.
Don't worry. Fat as you are, you wouldn't be much help anyway. You eat between meals, too?
No. That is, it's getting to be almost noon.
Never mind. What I came to tell you is I'll do the cooking while the boys are gone. That means you are going to have to do the outside work. Who's in here?
Nobody.
Somebody's behind that door. Open up in there. Come on out.
Drop it. Turn around. Let's have a look at you. All the way around. Well, how nice. glad you dropped in. Now I can take both of you along. Get me a towel, Jamie.
What did you mean you're taking us along?
Tell me something, Jamie. That fellow that pulled his gun on me in the saloon that night, he the same one that stuck us up in the trail camp?
Sure he was. I told Kit.
Wait a minute. You told Kit?
Where are you taking me? You taking me to the hole? There's no need to do that, Sundance. I told you all I know.
No, Butch would never believe me. That's why I'm taking you. And that's going to take a lot of telling to make Butch believe that Kit's turned against him. Never knew you had a spy in camp, did you, Miss Lucy? Yeah, he's been telling us plenty these past years. Oh, he's the one that got your father killed. His spying days are over now, though.
There's no need to take me up there. The whole territory's rising up against the bunch. The sheriff's trying to get some plans to get through to the hole. You take me up there and they'll kill me.
Shut up, fat gut, and saddle us some horses. I'll need a fresh one, too. Now, listen. Don't you try any funny business out there, and I'll be watching you from the door. Go on.
It looks peaceful, but I've got a feeling you'd better not go in. If there's any trouble, I'll get word to Butch somehow. Take good care of them, Jonesy. They've had a rough trip.
Sure will, ma'am.
To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit, gentlemen?
I'd like to introduce Mr. Malone of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. I believe he can explain better than I.
I'll come right to the point, Miss Banion. I'm here to help Sheriff Wilson, who's organizing a citizens committee against some bandits known as the Wild Bunch.
Very interesting. And you intend to use my apartment as an office?
Not so you could notice. We had a feeling that this was the best place to find you. Outside of the hole, that is.
Are you suggesting that I...
Worse than that, Miss Banion. We believe you're a go-between for the bunch, and that your tavern here is a hangout for them.
You can prove all this, of course.
No, ma'am, we can't. Not yet. That will come along. Meantime, I must tell you, you have 6 hours to get out of town.
This is a holdup.
Maybe it is. You should know about that.
The safe's open. Everything's gone.
Well, there was nothing I could do. The committee took over. They're holding all your stuff for evidence. What'd they tell you?
They told me to leave town.
Now, who was fool enough to tell a pretty girl like you to leave town? Bartender, how about a drink for the little girl and me?
Do you want one, kid?
Maybe I could use one. If you're a gambler looking for a spot to deal, you picked out the wrong place. They just closed me.
Oh? What was the trouble?
You just got in, huh?
Just. Didn't even know the place was closed.
Well, it is.
Maybe that will explain why I'm here. That picture was taken over 3.5 years ago. They got 25 years, I'm out in 3.
So you're Jeff Yonder. I suppose you wanted an introduction to Butch Cassidy.
That's the general idea.
We'll have to leave right away.
What's the rush?
There's a Pinkerton man in town by the name of Malone. Do you know him?
Leo Malone. Sure, I know him.
If he sees you, we'll never leave. Make a deal with Jonesy for fresh horses. Bring them around the alley in the back. We'll wait upstairs.
Get back?
Yeah, I gave her the story, and I posted guards in front and back of the Maverick Queen.
Good.
Kid ain't losing any time. She just rode out with Jake and another fella.
What other fella?
Never saw him before. Looked like a gambler.
Okay, thanks. Get back to your post. Say, we'd better get after him.
Won't do any good, Leo. It's a cinch she's heading in the wrong direction. She won't hit for the hole until she knows she's not being followed.
We better play it as planned. As soon as Kit gets word to the gang that we're organizing down here, your man will find some way to get out and lead us back in.
That's right.
Maybe something's happened to wreck our plan.
What do you mean?
Supposing that stranger is the real Jeff Younger.
Where'd you get that idea?
It's a hunch I have, and I don't like it.
Saddle up, men. We're riding. Come on, hurry up.
We'll cut off here. We'll camp here. If we don't, I'll fall asleep in the saddle.
That suits me. We lost that posse 2 hours ago.
That's him, all right.
Kit's gone, their horse is too.
What? I'm looking for part of a newspaper with a picture, telling who I am.
You needn't be telling me who you are, Younger. I know you.
Maybe Kit took it.
Yeah, maybe she did, but why? Could you find your way to the hole in the wall? If you could, maybe you could get out of this alive.
You ain't got nothing on me.
But we will before we're through.
How do I know you'll keep your word?
That's something I can't be promising. But I will promise you this. If you don't help me, I'll see you hang if it's the last thing I ever do.
I've never been there, but I can take you close.
All right, get to your horses, hurry.
Hey, Sundance is coming in.
Sundance? What do you mean, Sundance?
He's coming in with that Lucy Lee gal, the lead cook.
He's dead.
I just saw him. They're coming in right now.
Thought you were dead, Sundance. Glad you ain't. Why'd you bring them up here?
To prove something to you, Butch, that you just ain't gonna want to believe. Go on, tell him.
Go on, talk.
That fella calls himself Jeff Younger. He's the one that held up Sundance and the boys at the Lee Trail camp.
That true, Miss Lee?
Why ask me? Your favorite spy just told you.
Tell him the rest of it.
Kit Banion knew. I told her.
She fell for the guy, Butch.
Pinkerton. Lock him up.
He sleeps out under that big juniper by the creek.
Lock her up, too. Put a guard in the door. Send for Kit. Don't let her know about this. I'll tell her.
Don't signal! No use waking the camp.
Jeff Younger, huh? Pinkerton. Lock him in one of the cabins. Stand guard on him. If he gets away, I'll hang you instead.
Good luck.
What do you want?
Now, take it easy. Take it easy. I've been wanting to talk to you ever since I saw you in that trail camp.
Well, I don't want to talk to you. Get out of here.
Jeff. Oh, Jeff, how did they find out about you?
Sundance. He brought in Lucy and the cook. Cassidy knows you covered me.
Oh. Jeff, I know the whole story now. The real Jeff Younger showed up. I stole this from him.
He came up here to warn me. Kid, I'm grateful to you. Whatever happens,
no.
I want you to.
You don't have to say anything. There never could be anything between us. I know that. I chose my path a long time ago. Well, you can't turn back the clock. We're wasting time. Sundance will be back.
Sundance?
He was on guard outside. He went into the cabin next door.
Lucy's in that cabin.
Then we won't make it. We can't leave her.
Give me the gun. Wait a minute. Better leave it the way it was.
Where are they?
Women. There was only one woman.
Give me that rifle! Pinkerton and the lead girl getting away. Kid Banion helped them.
You got it.
they can't be more than a couple of minutes behind us.
How can they track us like that?
Sundance, that Indian could track a man in moccasins, let alone 2 horses.
Tracks lead to the cabin.
Yeah. Sundance. Muncie, loudmouth. Circle it. Go afoot.
Don't move! Where's that Pinkerton?
I'll talk to Butch when he gets here.
Where's that Pinkerton guy?
He went to get help.
Ain't but one horse in the shed.
You'll never catch him now.
We'll get him. Put the girls in the cabin. You two stay and watch him.
Give me that job, Butch.
Sure, go ahead.
Keep the lead girl outside here. I want to talk to Kid private.
Sundance! What's that soft jaw of yours?
Luck doesn't ride with you, Sundance. You'll fail again.
Yeah? You'll never use that with Muncie and Loudmouth outside.
You won't hear this.
Kid's putting up quite a battle.
Yeah.
You reckon he's around here?
No. I think he's back at the cabin. Come on.
Don't move or you'll be as dead as Sundance. Get their guns. I'll untie the horses. No time to ride for it now. Inside.
Close that window, bar it.
They got our guns. Kill Sundance, and they'll nail anybody else who shows up in the open. Bring that place again. But don't waste bullets.
Well, there's a sheriff's posse out there somewhere.
And maybe 50 miles away, our only chance is to break out.
But they've got us all fenced in.
When you got a fence around you without a gate in it, you gotta cut a hole in it. Those men are tired. We'll wait till they settle down.
pitch. Get close and throw it on the roof.
They're throwing firebrands on the roof. It's burning. We've got to run for it. Maybe the smoke will cover us. We've got to separate. You go first. We'll meet down there by the rocks tonight after they leave. If they leave. Oh, they'll leave. Now, you go ahead. Keep low. Go on. You'll be all right. I'll cover you.
Keep him over there someplace.
Cassidy! Kit and the Pinkerton, they're both here! Is he dead? Not yet! He will be. The sheriff's posse, run for it!
Sorry, Lucy. She's dead. She said herself there was no turning back. Too late, Sheriff. I'll be all right.
Would take more than that to kill him.
We saw the smoke from the fire. Ran into Lucy down the trail. She told us what was happening.
You did a good job, partner.
No, the wild bunch came to its end because of the Maverick Queen.
In the arms of her loved one, she passed from the scene. But they'll always remember the Maverick